Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, I slept in just a little bit. We finished our last job site, and they rewarded us with a Friday off work. So that's why the show's starting a little bit late. But I'm still going to try and go an hour for y'all till 7. So let's dive on in and get you prepped for some success today. I've got the stock heat map pulled up. We've got Apple, which is sitting up a 0.01% from yesterday. And in the pre-market right now, it's sitting down just a little bit, down a 0.14. We've got Nvidia, which is sitting down 0.06. And in the pre-market is continuing on those losses and is down 0.34% right now. Got Berkshire Hathaway almost back into that positive instead of neutral. It's up 0.48% from yesterday, and in the pre-market is up a 0.18%. We do have Amazon also continuing on that trend to the upside, up 1.1 from yesterday, and is up a 0.22% in the pre-market right now. Eli Lilly finally taking back some of those gains, down a 0.51 from yesterday, and is continuing that trend in the pre-market, down 0.2% right now. We do have ExxonMobil up 0.44% off of some kind of weird oil news coming out of the UAE, but in the pre-market right now is sitting down 0.02%. We do have Tesla, which is sitting up at 3.23%, and in the pre-market, continuing on those gains, up 0.66% right now. Microsoft is sitting up 1.19 from yesterday, and in the pre-market, sitting down just a smidge, down 0.11%. Google is sitting down from yesterday, down 0.99, and in the pre-market is sitting down 0.18. Meta continuing on its losing streak, down 0.79%, and in the pre-market is down 0.2%. On the crypto side of things, we're looking green again after a nice little flash crash that we got on Bitcoin yesterday. Bounced on some of those levels I had looked at though, and we're taking back some of those losses. We're sitting at 98,000, about 370, up 1.33%. Ethereum is up at 2.34%. We've got XRP, which is taken back some market share and is up at 2.38% right now. We got Solana up 0.44%. We've got BNB up 0.44% as well. Dogecoin is sitting up a 0.54. Cardano is sitting up a 0.81. We've got Lido staked ETH up a 2.33. Polkadot finally taking some losses from its big winning week, is down 0.81%. We've got Toncoin sitting down a 1.03. Shiba Inu is down a 1.23 as well. We've got Avalanche up 2.08, and Tron is sitting down 1.43. We do have some economic data that is coming out here soon in the morning. We've got your average hourly earnings month over month and year over year. That'll be coming out at 8:30, so about 30 minutes after I end the show. We do have a little bit later, same batch of data, gonna be government payrolls, which is something I've got my eye on, especially after some data dropped. We do have Elon Musk, who had been talking, as well as Vivek Ramaswamy, about some of the government jobs. And about 6% or so of the people that are working from home for the government are actually doing the work that they're supposed to be doing. So definitely showing some signs that some cutting of government jobs might be a little bit necessary for that government payroll. We do have manufacturing payrolls that is coming out at 8:30 as well Eastern time. Non-farm payrolls is going to be the biggie. It's looking like it's going to be a lot higher, and is definitely signaling some of the labor market for your seasonal jobs that is coming in with this winter time hitting a little bit harder. We do have the participation rate as well coming out at 7:30. That's going to be a nice indicator along with the rest of these non-farm payrolls, manufacturing payrolls, and government payrolls. Kind of gives you an overall broad view of everything. You do have your unemployment rate, which is coming out as well, and that'll be the doozy for today. It is looking like it's ticking up just a little bit higher, but as you do have some of this seasonal work that is going out and people finding temporary jobs, seeing these slight swings is definitely going to be something we will continue to see over the next few weeks or so. And some of these people will find temporary jobs, and so that number will come back down just a little bit. You do have a little bit later in the day, Fed Bowman is giving a speech at 9:15 Eastern Time, and a little bit after that, at 10, we do have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Prelim, and that is going to be another big data drop for the morning. And in the afternoon, we have Fed Hammock speaking, and Fed's Goolby is speaking a little bit before that. And that's about it for Friday's data. Let's hop over to the fear and greed and get that pulled up for you. As you can kind of see, the stock market has been cooling down quite a bit. We were in 64 and greed at the beginning of the week, and we are now back down to neutral, just hit 55. And for the crypto side of things, we are out of extreme greed. We got that flash crash, and it really cooled off things extremely quickly. We're back at 72 and just greed. So seeing things cool off as we move kind of sideways and below 100,000 is something that would be good and healthy to see. If you take a look at that liquidation heat map, we do have a bunch of liquidity to the top side of us that is going to be driving those market makers. You do have a hot spot right below 100,000 at that 99 and 700 mark. And then the hotter spot is sitting right below 105,000. Going to be that 103 range. Top side 900 to the 104 and 500 range. You do have some light hot spots to the bottom of us. That's going to be that 97,000 mark, and a little bit below that sitting at the 94,000 mark. If you zoom it on out just a little bit, take a look at that weekly, you are seeing for your higher time frames that there is no liquidity on either side of us. We took it all out when we got that nice little dip down and bounced right at some levels I had talked about prior. So we'll have to take a look at that Bitcoin chart here in a second. Let me say hello to the chat first before we do that. We do have Anthony Soprano in here with the good morning. We've got STL Coin in here with the good morning as well. Arsan in here. Good morning, good morning. We got French toaster. Wow, huge wick a few hours ago, last night. Yes, definitely touched on that just a little bit this morning. But we're about to dive into that Bitcoin chart and get a better view of it. We have Crypto Mar in here with the rocket ship and the moon and fire. We've got Crypto Conspiracy in here saying, "What's up, fam?" Good morning to you all. Thank you for tuning in today. Let's take a look at that Bitcoin chart. As you can kind of see, if I zoom it on in just a little bit and drop it down from a daily down to about a 4-hour chart. Let's drop it even lower. Let's take a look at that 1-hour chart. As you can kind of see here, when you take a look, I've had a Fibonacci extension drawn out for quite a while, and we got a bounce right on the bottom side of that Fibonacci extension line, and that's at 91,994, basically 92,000 mark that I've been talking about for a little while. It was right to the bottom of a fair value gap that we've left open for quite a while. That was from back here. And we finally closed it with that test to the bottom side and showed a lot of buying pressure that came in and rescued Bitcoin at that price. I know Piper has talked about the 94 to 92 range as well on his morning market report, which if you aren't tuning in for, you should definitely be tuning in for, because he dives a little bit deeper into these things than I do, because he has more time to prep in the morning sometimes, and really has a good view on the data. So make sure to tune in a little bit later for that. I'm sure he'll talk about some of this as well. As you can kind of see here, we pulled back up extremely quickly, dropped back down to the top side of this fair value gap, and have continued things to the upside. You can kind of see when you look at the prime oscillator, though, that we're not seeing a lot of volume coming in on the bottom side to rescue things from selling pressure. So we do have some continued downside pressure if you're looking at some volume. Could very easily see that switch around very quickly off of some of the data that we're going to be seeing here at 8:30 this morning, and again a little bit later in the day. So definitely something to keep your eye on. We do have on your higher term time frames, let's zoom it on out just a little bit, and that 4-hour chart, you can kind of see here your money flow on your 4-hour chart just went light red. So definitely something to keep in mind, that there might be some continued downside pressure just a little bit before we see a move back to the upside. We are approaching the platinum pocket on that Fibonacci extension again, and as you can kind of see here, we have struggled to get above it in the past, faltering before we even get close to it, faltering before we get close to it, and getting some bounces off of it back here. That'll be a point of contention that would need to be seen and made into some support. As you can kind of see, that's that bottom side 99,000 range. So definitely within the range of that $100,000 and getting back above it. And as you can kind of see here, this is all a fair value gap to the top side of us as well. So right back into that fair value gap is where we're sitting right now, and could definitely start seeing some of that be pressured against once we hit that mid-range of it, because that's sitting right about that $100,000 mark. If we do end up creating some support down here, 100,000 is not too hard of a reach. You just want to see that money flow start ticking back positive on these higher time frames. As I had showed you, that our chart was still looking pretty red on money flow, and if you zoom it in just a little bit, to that 15 minute, you can kind of see it as well, is just light red there. You are waiting for the liquidity to really come in and save us. As you could see here, that liquidity has basically just kept us moving sideways, even though it was pretty green, which means there's a decent amount of selling pressure here in this range, and people want some those bigger institutions and whales kind of want some of that cheaper Bitcoin that's sitting down here along this trend line that I've had drawn out for a while. As you can kind of see on that 15-minute chart, we did get pretty equal wicks, pretty equal candle bodies right on that trend line. So definitely something to keep your eye on if we're not going to see that volume coming in as buying pressure. We could see a little more downside. You do have your golden pocket, which is sitting below us at 96,000 and would be a nice little bouncing point if we end up coming down off of some bad data. You do have your MACD, which just crossed your indicator line on the top side of things and is looking to kind of hit another cross on the top side. You're getting a decent amount of curvature here, which could really pull things down. I don't know if anyone has any assets they'd like me to take a look at, but today I can do a lot of TA. Let me hop into the chat real quick, see what people are saying, because I saw it start moving. Got Jesse Gulek in here saying, hi everyone. S saying, I definitely hit 30 USD, but 40 or 50 needs more time, because all these little hints having been doing nothing but making the stock drop. Not are you talking about the GameStop stock there? Because if so, I can take a little look at that a little bit later, right after I dive into that headline. We do have Stephen Bate saying hello. S saying, last time Kitty posted a meme holding a duffel bag and Toy Story, and the stock crashed from 30 to 22. Bitcoin is up than anything else. Wonder if any investors will ever hold their GameStop shares. I don't doubt any short squeeze with GME. We'll have to take a look at that here in a little. All set in here with the good morning. Jesse Gulek saying good morning to all set. And French Toaster saying all set, giving him the cup of coffee. Jesse Gulek saying Mogcoin makes nice moves. I might have to take a look at that. I've been needing to add some things to my trading portfolio and adding some more stuffs in, more assets in there to kind of take more advantage of some of these moves. So let's take a look. It's a quick article just talking about how he had posted. So GameStop shares, here we go. GameStop shares close higher after Roaring Kitty resurfaces. GameStop shares closed nearly 6% higher on Thursday after a cryptic post from the meme stock influencer Keith Gill, known on YouTube as Roaring Kitty and on Reddit as Deep Effing Value. Gill posted on X an edited version of a Time magazine cover from 2006 featuring a computer screen. This was followed by a spike in GameStop shares reaching more than 30 intraday. The post has no accompanying text as to what it is about, similar to Gill's past cryptic posts. And this is something that is going to also bring in some of that retail to your meme side of things, and could definitely spark some more rallies on some of those memes that we all like to play sometimes. Well, I don't, but the crypto market as a whole likes to play sometimes. So might have to tune in to the Piper Show a little bit later. I'm pretty sure he'll bring up some of those projects that ripped last time that Roaring Kitty was talking about things. And I know Crux of Crypto has a lot of projects in our Discord that he talks about all the time. I know Mudang was one that he's been talking about recently in the Discord. So if you haven't checked out the Discord, links in the description below. Definitely have a lot of value in that Discord there. So let's hop over to some of these indices that I've been talking about before we dive a little bit further into things today. I did see a request for CleanSpark and ACX as well. So I haven't heard of ACX. Just let me know in the chat if that's a crypto project or more of a stock. We do have the NASDAQ, which is pulling back down just a little bit to this platinum pocket we have that is right below us at $19,607. That's kind of a point I'd like to see some strength made if we don't end up getting all the way down there. We do have some equal lows here at 19,639, where I'd really like to see a bouncing before we make some continuation to push back up towards this 0 line or the 1 line on your Fibonacci extension. Just waiting for volume to kind of tick back up on that one. Kind of waiting on that across the market. We do have your SPX, which is pulling back off of that platinum pocket that got hit yesterday. We do have this CME gap, which is sitting right below us, starting at that 6,061 mark. Let me get my drawing tool out and draw that out for y'all. The wick being already into that. And then down here to the candle body. There we go. And it's already blue for y'all. So CME gaps I'm going to start drawing on stocks as blue. And the purple side is going to be those fair value gaps that we talk about quite a bit because they get tested a lot. You do have that mid-range of your CME gap being about 6,058. That's my bad on the price, which would be a nice little bouncing range, especially when we're getting some of the data that we'll be seeing a little bit later this morning, right before market open, and then about an hour after market open, we'll be getting that next batch of data. So keeping your eye out for that and seeing where the bouncing point is really going to lie is going to be the big part of the morning. You do have a few points here where there's the 6,067, the top of the CME. You have your equal wicks here at that 6,063 mark, and the mid-range being that 6,000 and about $60. So those are a few little points where we could find some footing for your SPX. So let's hop over to the Dow Jones. As you can kind of see here, it has not been able to make it up to the platinum pocket on the fib extension. Looking for some strength here on this golden pocket here. That's going to be 44,698. You do have a decent amount of selling pressure here, and we're looking to close the CME gap that we're sitting inside of. That 44,600 mark, about 700 mark is going to be that point where I'd really look for a bounce, especially with some of the data that we're going to be seeing. It might cause a little bit of a sell-off here on some of these indices. I know I had talked about oil the other day, so we'll take a quick look at that after I take a look at the Russell and gold. We do have this fair value gap, which we have finally closed, and the CME gap that was sitting below it finally closed on the Russell, as you've seen a lot of risk on kind of be the sentiment that is not agreed upon. You've seen your yield curve kind of tick back, tick a little bit lower. People are really wanting more security right now, as we're seeing some mixed messages from some of your Fed chairs, and as we're going into a period where we're going to have a transition from one government to another. And when you have some of the things that have been said by Trump, which is a little scary to some of the market, where we're going to be levying taxes, you will see some of the risk on sentiment in your stock market be shaken out just a little bit. So I want to see some strength made here below us at that 50% line on the fib extension. Going to be that 2,380 mark. To really find that footing, you are starting to see a tick up in the selling pressure on the Russell as well. So coming a little bit lower to retest some of our points below us that we bounced at about 2,362. Gonna be another nice little bouncing point. I will take a look at gold right below that before I take a look at oil. As we can kind of see, we have been testing this fair value gap for a while, and it's been a nice sideways movement and kind of a period where you can get a lot of accumulation. Looking for a retest of these higher points in our fair value gap right now is kind of gonna be the thing that a lot of is going to happen quite a bit here, as you're seeing people unsure of the market. You're getting a lot of swings back and forth in different areas, and gold has just been kind of moving sideways. And if you do expect some longer term price action on gold, this has all been a decent little buying range, because we've been moving sideways on it. We do wick below it a little bit every once in a while, and those are those points where you do see a lot of buying pressure. The bottom side, 2,628, really seems to be the new local floor for gold. As you can see, it's a very quick move below and back into it. And looking at this 236 for real support here, we did get a small move below it and are looking to move back up to this top side, middle of your fair value gap, going to be 2,651. If we can finally show a little more volume coming in, as you can kind of see here on this 1 hour, it is finally ticked green, and not a heavy green yet though, so really going to need to see that turn heavy green and rescue things. You can kind of see here your MACD is very indecisive, although it is on the top side of your indicator line but below zero. It looks like it could head in either direction here as we see the day progress. So if we do see that cross, I would expect to see this 50%, this 382 really be that contention point, and that 2,656 mark that I've talked about us needing to see support made over the past week. I really want to see that, get that support before we make a move up to the top side of our fair value gap, which we have not tested since November. Gonna be the point where we're really gonna see a little bit of some selling pressure come in, but if we see that volume being extremely nice and green with your buying pressure, I would look for that top side target being somewhere around 2,672 before we see a little bit of some faltering. Let me take a look at some oil. One below that. Oh, there we go. We got oil, which has been getting some sell-off. We do have OPEC, which has been talking a little bit about wanting to see some higher prices and kind of their move for the next year under the Trump administration. And this has caused a bit of some sell-off. I had talked about oil the other day and wanting to make a move. I forgot to drop that in the Discord. Was very busy at work. We do have this golden pocket that has been sitting above us for quite a while and is the real point of contention for oil. As you can kind of see here, we did get some reversal signals that have basically been ignored, but is stacking up on divergences. So seeing another play where we push back up here into up to the golden pocket at about $70 is definitely something we could easily see. Just need that volume, which is selling pressure right now, but is starting to tick down, really come in and rescue things for gold. Especially when you're hearing about some of the OPEC, which is going to be doing their market manipulation on oil. You can kind of expect to see some of these higher prices drive crude oil a little bit higher. So going to be that $70 mark that I'm kind of looking for on oil. Seeing if it can replay the move that did back here and maybe retain that golden pocket. I don't think it's going to. It has been the real point of contention. When we bounced on it back here, we lost it and haven't really been able to maintain above it since back here in the beginning of November. And again, we saw it back here where we got a nice move out of it, and we had a nice trend line that was support running for a while back here. It's been invalidated for quite a while, and the golden pocket really seems to be that point where we're looking to make some strength at. You do have some new trend lines that I'm going to have to draw out here, because as you can kind of see here, we do have most of this being a trend line to the downside for your resistance, and we're making kind of a new triangle here with your bottom side coming in pretty tight and looking at some squeezing here. So maybe with it pointing down just a little bit, might see a quick break to the upside on it. Really just going to depend on how the market overall is looking at oil, especially with OPEC's new stance on how they're going to be handling things under the Trump administration. I did see Sol requested as well, and some let's see, what was it? Oh, I guess Jesse Gulak asked for gold. I knew there was one other request. Well, I took a look at gold for you already. I like to do that little rundown of the TradFi markets. It definitely factors into some of these projects that we like to see, and is a good market sentiment overall. Kind of can see things run together or contradictory sometimes. Really depends on those data drops and how much they really affect crypto. So let's take a look at CleanSpark real quick. Let me get that pulled up. Oh, it is not crypto. It is a stock. There we go. Got CleanSpark, which has been sitting in a CME gap right now from back here in the beginning of November, where we created a decent CME gap and have really kind of been maintaining this range. You do have your 50% line on your Fibonacci retracement that I've had drawn out for quite a while now. Let me zoom it on out from that. Oh, Might have to zoom it on out. Yep, there we go. As you can kind of see here, it's drawn from this push up before we really started seeing the highs back here. And this is from November of last year and pulled up to the high that we saw in March. And we have been sitting on this 50% line on the fib retracement for about a month or so. It's definitely going to be the point where we're going to need to see some strength made. Let's zoom it back in just a little bit. As you can kind of see, the volume on that daily chart is not looking extremely pretty. Let me zoom it on in just a little bit so you can kind of get a better view on that. You can kind of see here we have lost the 50% line on your fib retracement, and we're kind of looking to come back to the bottom side of the CME gap. Going to be that $13.59 mark. Might see a little bit of some bottom side action below it. Going to be that $13.35, and that's been a point where we've seen a decent amount of buying pressure. There is some outliers right here and here, but you do see on three of these candle bodies a decent amount of buying pressure right there at $13.35. Anything below that really kind of brings in even higher buying pressure. As we're coming down though, you are seeing that volume start to tick back up on that 4 hour. You can see here it just went green. Your MACD though is kind of set to kind of move down just a little bit below that indicator line again. Might see just the same thing we've been seeing on the way down, where we're pushing off of it and coming back up to it very quickly. Your indicator line is getting a lot of curvature, which is looking to maybe pull things back up just a little. You do have some divergences on your prime oscillator, but your prime oscillator is looking extremely green. So seeing that curve back over to the upside, as well as your volume coming in, is going to be a nice indicator that some of the bottom side of the CME gap at 13.53 down to 13.35 here is going to be a point where we see that move start ticking back up. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Take a look at that hourly chart. And as you can see here, your hourly is on that selling pressure side. So we would want to see that money be a inflow from the lower time frames and start moving over from your 4 hour down into your 1 hour and down into your extremely low time frames like the 15-minute to really rescue things. You're looking at a little more downside pressure on CleanSpark, especially as Bitcoin had that giant flash crash that it did. You might see some sell-off at the beginning of the morning for things, and definitely looking for that floor around that 1350 to 1335. As you can kind of see here, your 15-minute chart does show that we are still red on your money flow, but we are starting to get that first reversal signal. Do see multiple reversal signals play out on the prime oscillator. Before you see that reversal actually play out, sometimes looking to see that oversold signal kind of play out before we make that move back up to the upside. You do have your MACD, which is to the bottom side of your zero line and is a decent spread from that indicator line. So seeing some continued downside is definitely going to be the move for the morning on some CleanSpark. I know I had GME that I need to take a look at as well. So let's get that drawn up. It has been a while since I've looked at GME. And as you can kind of see here, as we had talked about with that article, we got that nice move up to the upside off of Roaring Kitty. Let's zoom it on out to that daily view. Might have to take a look a little bit further, actually. Uh, let's take a look at that 2-day chart to kind of get a broader view. As you can kind of see here, this was the move last time, back when everything was super bullish. And everyone was riding that meme wave when Roaring Kitty was posting all the time back there when we got that move. There's that Fibonacci retracement that I apparently had deleted last time I looked at GME. But you can see here, we have finally made some strength on your platinum pocket here. You do have your volume, which is looking pretty nice on the 2-day. We'll have to zoom it on in a little bit further to kind of see how much further down that volume is looking nice, because that volume is going to be the real indicator on GME. As you can kind of see here, your pre-market is sitting basically at yesterday's close, so definitely leaving things open for a move for the day. You do have some CME gaps, which are sitting right above us. Let's get that drawn out for you. As you can kind of see, this whole range here was a CME gap that hasn't been touched in a while. We did wick through it very quickly when we were having a lot of volatility in the market, and as you can kind of see here, when it was going to the downside, we started out this wick of the candle on the midline and have really never came back into this. So it's going to be that point where we really want to see some strength made. We're sitting right below it, ended up wicking into it very quickly back here before moving on to the downside of this golden pocket here. Looking to see that volume come in on these lower time frames to bring GME up if we do see a post from Roaring Kitty a little bit later today. Could also just negate all of that and the volume go crazy, and we really see us push back up to levels that we haven't seen in a little while. We'll just have to wait and see if he's back or if that was just a little one-time thing that he was doing. I know he likes to go with trends though, and if we do see the market being more bullish, could definitely see some more posts from him, and you'll have to take a look at some of your favorite meme coins, because some of those might rip along with the whole market sentiment. You do have your 4-hour where your money flow is decently red, but you're getting a decent amount of curvature on your prime oscillator and your MACD as well above the 0 line, so indicating a little bit of strength after some pullback from that golden pocket. We did have some equal lows here that were kind of made at that bouncing point, going to be that $26 mark, where we've seen a lot of strength here at this range. So if we do end up losing that golden pocket, could easily come right back down to that 26 range, where we've seen a decent amount of strength here. Let's zoom it on in just a little bit more. Take a look at that hourly chart. As you can kind of see here, you are getting a few topping signals here on your prime oscillator. Your money flow is looking a little bit like some outflows, but it's not heavy outflows here. So some money flow, like I was talking about from the 2-day, is really what could be the rescuer on this. This golden pocket is going to be the real point of contention. It is also the bottom side of that CME gap. So seeing the bounce off of it and a little bit of pullback before a move where we get to the top side of it is going to be the real move that we want to see, especially as more people realize that Roaring Kitty posted yesterday, because I know I didn't see anything about that until this morning, and I can't have been the only one. I don't live on Twitter, and I miss some of those sometimes, and there's going to be people that are going to be wanting to play that same sentiment here for the day. Yeah, if you zoom it on in to that 15 minute, you can kind of see here it was a decent topping signal for your lower term time frame, but your money flow on that 15 hour as well as your higher term daily is green. So wanting to see that roll over is going to be what we want to see for it. You do see it kind of topped out just a little bit. You got the reversal signal, came down just a bit, but your money flow stayed pretty steady. So looking for that pick back up and rolling over into your hourly on your volume is going to be that next move. Your MACD is kind of set to come down to this indicator line on the top side of that 15, but looking for the bounce here at that 26, from that 26 range that we had seen from yesterday, looking like the morning might be a little bullish for it. So I do see Lunar Beach's crypto made it in here. Good morning, LBC. Uh, as of today, I'm 3 years from 40. Well, happy birthday, LBC. I hope you have an amazing day and an amazing birthday. And I hope you took the day off to have some time with yourself or maybe your wife. Maybe to just do something for yourself today. If not, I hope you have an amazing evening for your birthday and you spend some time with your family doing something fun. Let's see if there was any other requests in here. I did see Sol from earlier. ACX. I didn't know if that was a stock or a crypto, so if you could let me know on that one, would definitely be appreciated. We got Stu Lovell saying, while everyone is looking at shiny stuff, Dow and crypto, look at the other shiny stuff, gold and silver. Don't get distracted, folks. Yes, that I bought some silver back when it bottomed out at that 30, and I've been looking to make another purchase of some silver. So it's definitely something I keep my eye on a lot. It is a nice TradFi market play. And for the long term, I feel like it has a decent amount of safety for smaller gains. So definitely something I keep my eye on. Let's see what else. God bless the new money in in GameStop. May your God go with you. Yeah, I don't play on some of those market moves, but I know people like to, and it definitely gets some views and some clicks. But for the most part, I talked about it because it impacts your meme market, and that's the big play on it. So anytime Roaring Kitty posts, you do see your meme tokens go kind of bonkers. I know in the Discord, we have Crux of Crypto, who has dropped some of the cat meme coins the last time that had ripped from when Roaring Kitty was posting. So might have to scroll back in there and see what kind of meme projects had ripped when Roaring Kitty was posting last time and see what kind of a play we might get off of that. Let's see. Thanks, BC. A no day off. Working in 20-degree weather and wife is homesick. Well, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't have to work today. I got half of yesterday off because we topped out at about 20 degrees yesterday. And they were like, guess what? These machines can't handle it, so go home. And we'd also finished the site as well, so that I get to stay home today. I wish you the best on your birthday, though. Don't work too hard today. We have Burkok in here saying, "Hi guys, I also have another hint at that sheet of paper on that sheet of I'm not sure what you're talking about there. So, uh, let's see. Oof, stay strong, a pack of hot drink, bro. I all set to you working in that 20-degree weather. Yes, definitely stay warm out there. I've been wearing 4 layers of clothes while I've been working out in that 20-degree weather the past week. So and it still doesn't seem like it's enough by the end of the day. Toes are a little bit cold and all that. I've been wearing two thermal socks and it's still not enough. I'm just ready for the season to be completely over. We've only been getting a few days a week sometimes. So seeing a cross protocol Jesse ACX. So it's a crypto project. I'm going to have to take a guess on that then. See crypto ACX. ACX, did you have a certain exchange you'd like me to take a look at it on? I can definitely do that for you on the exchange you would like me to take a look at. So we do have the Coinbase, which is going to be my default for that. If not, let me take a quick drink of water because I've been talking for almost an hour straight and I can feel it in the throat. Coinbase. Let's take a look at it. Oh my Jesus. Looking like we're seeing a little bit of selling pressure there. So let's zoom it on in just a little bit to kind of get that view from the push up on the bottom. Let's zoom it out to the daily view though. So there's that daily view. Looking like a newer project, going to be a little bit hard to kind of gauge some of those bouncing levels, and we're just gonna have to go on some fibs. So let's get from the push on up here. There's the push on up and all the way to the top there on that wick. Crazy move there on ACX. I hope you caught that there, Jesse. Let's zoom it on in. As you can kind of see here, we've got us sitting right at that 236 on the retracement. Your volume is still looking pretty nice here. As you can kind of see, it's still ticking back up. So the whole volume back here was basically just moves sideways that kind of kept things afloat. And with very little volume, we got a big move to the upside on it. Well, congratulations there, Jesse. A nice catch on that one. I do see Mark Dutchin here. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing amazing. Let's zoom it on in to a shorter time frame. Probably going to take a look at the hourly and negate that 4-hour just a little bit, especially since there's a lot of volatility on this one. And I'd really want to see what kind of volume we're seeing here on the lower term. We are kind of looking like we're going to continue that move to the downside here for a little bit. Your volume is kind of flattening out here. You do have some topping signals on your prime oscillator with heavy overbought signals shown. So definitely looking for some downside action on this. You did see a lot of buying pressure when we got below the 236, but I don't know how much of that is going to be able to be maintained. You do have a few points below that where you could really start seeing a little bit of some bounces. Gonna be that 382 at about $1.05. Below that, you do have this whole thing being a fair value gap, which leaves it open to a lot of testing. Let's draw that out there. Boom. boom. And let's change that color so it's in line with the fair value gap coloring that I like to go with. Let's lock it so we don't move it, and zoom on in on a lower term time frame. As you can kind of see here, the 15-minute does have that green money flow, and we'd really want to see that start bleeding over into that hourly chart, because that hourly chart wasn't looking absolutely spectacular for your money flow. As you can kind of see here, we're getting a lot of faltering at the top of this fair value gap that I have drawn out, and are looking to really drop into it kind of hard. Jesse says 20 minutes from here to the bottom. I do think we are going to be seeing that push back in. As you can kind of see, your fair value gap really lines in on that 50% line on a retracement. That's going to be that 91 cent, 92 cent mark. So if we really hit that hard drop and retest some of this fair value gap, I would look at that 92 cent mark being that point where we really come back down to, unless you can start seeing some of that volume bleed over from your higher term time frames down into your lower term time frames. If it is kind of topping out on some of your lower term time frames, that might be indicating that higher term time frame might see some top out as well. And seeing a retracement back to 50% of the move that we just made there is nothing too crazy, and would be a nice little point where you could click that buy button again and catch some more of that momentum on this play. It could have just been a swing play though, so we'll kind of just have to see what kind of volume we start seeing as we get back down there. If we do maintain the strength here at the 236 or the 382, could definitely start seeing it push back up, and really don't have any data where we can really say where it might top out at. So Fibonacci extension would be the only thing I could really draw there, and I'd have to zoom back out and kind of see, because as you saw on Bitcoin, those Fibonacci extensions really play out nicely, but we'd be at above all of the Fibonacci points on an extension there. So let's zoom it on in just a little bit and kind of gauge what kind of Fibonacci extension points would be the next point we could really hit. You do have the bottom here to the top to a bottom, and let's see what extension golden pockets might have been hit to that top side. Let's hide the Fibonacci retracement, because we kind of talked to that one. Sorry about that. My headset died right at the end of the hour that I was going to do. So I'm just going to sit it like this for a second before I wind on down the show. You do have the 4236, which was sitting right below us there at that dollar mark. And really looking for that midline. Going to be that 92.67. if we continue on up, there's really not any points until we make some bottoming where I could really redraw a Fibonacci extension to get those new extension points. So sorry about the mic problems at the end of the show, but thank you for everyone that tuned in today. I greatly appreciate that. Sorry I didn't get a chance to take a look at anything else with the whole mic thing. I'm not gonna sit like this and do that to y'all. So thank you for everyone that showed up. If you get a chance, check out the Discord. Links in the description. We also do have an exchange in the description as well. Tune in to the morning market report today. That's going to be at 9:30 Eastern time. So that's going to be with Piper, OC, and maybe TradeFly makes an appearance a little bit later. Other than that, everyone wake up because today's going to be a great day.